Black men in general, and this is a generalization, seem to appreciate women like me more than white men. I'm a lot of woman. I say what I want to say. I do what I want to do. And that for some reason threatens a lot of men. They think I'm too loud or I'm too brass but I'm just acting like a man. There's something about black men that like that. They think that's cute and they're turned on by my outrageousness or the fact that I don't give a that I want, that I'll say the thing. And so I like that. So there doesn't feel like such an imbalance. There's definitely like a cultural thing where black men, it feels like they appreciate that kind of thing more.
Is this a compliment to black men? Let's start off with Patty.
I don't think so.
Okay, no. Pass, 2. Crystal.
I don't think so either.
2. All right. Fine. They fine. I'm just saying it in different ways.
No, it's not.
Not. Okay, 3. Derek Bang.
Hell to the no.
So everybody's in agreement. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask y'all. Yeah. So what? Go ahead and explain why. Let's start off with Patty.
I've actually never heard that before. I was really surprised because I think the complete opposite.
Okay.
So yeah, I've never heard that before. Yeah.
Can you share what it is you do think, Patty?
I think that, the complete opposite. So I feel that, a black man is looking for someone who's going to bring peace, and non-toxicity, honor, respect, loyalty, a strong woman, right? But a helpmate. And so it's the complete opposite of someone who's going to be loud and use that type of vulgar language and all of that. There's plenty of that to, so no, not that.
Right. All right. Crystal.
I think this is a multi, level question. But I think that this is definitely not a compliment to black men, because like Patty was saying, most people, no matter what color you are looking for someone who, brings not discord to the relationship, and somebody who is constantly argumentative, loud, this is how I am kind of thing or whatever, doesn't bring I mean, I could say some other things, but that's the short answer of what I want to say.
Well, let me ask Patty and Crystal, if you had to guess, what percentage of black men you think like that type of, or attracted to that kind of attitude? What, if you had to guess?
If at all, I'd have to say, I don't know, like 1%. I'm like stunned. That's just
1%.
not, yeah.
All right, Crystal?
I don't know the exact percentage. I know someone with this type of mentality, and let me tell you, she pushes everybody off. So I would probably agree with Patty, a very 1%. Small, 5%.
All right, let's get a fine in here.
Man, I can't even tell you what percentage, but I know 4 black men that love that. That love it. Okay. They won't take it from a black woman, but they will take that from a white woman.
Really?
Yes. I know 4 of them. 4 of them. So you're asking me for a percentage? Oh my goodness. I can't, man, I have to almost say 60% from the ghetto, because that's where they're from. Or 90% from the ghetto, trying to get out the ghetto, look for somebody like that. That's really? What I was. Yes. Okay. That's 4 of them that I know. So, I mean, I don't know why.
You need to bring them on the show there.
Oh, my God.
Send them a text right now.
He's a truck driver out of Greenville, South Carolina. That's one of them. The other 2 are cousins of my wife in Newberry, South Carolina. And then the other one lives in Lexington, South Carolina.
Before I bring Derek in here, give like a quick example that you experienced, real quick, real fast, that you see. He was like, whoa, this is.
Well, I mean, these 4 guys, these 4 individuals, they only date white women.
All right.
but they
So
don't
that's
want black.
one quality, one quality
Right.
characteristic.
The other quality
Got to
is
be white. No, I'm just-
they got to have money.
okay.
Number two, and they got to be loud. Like they got to be ghetto. They got to be loud.
So we got
No.
race, we got class, and they got to be loud.
Attitude
Okay, so
and
it's
attitude and attitude. They love those three things. They love those three things. Yeah.
We got to have those three.
But again, these guys that never had jobs, been in prison, these are gangbangers. This is what they like. This is what they like.
So some guys that fell in hard times, they're willing to accept that.
Yeah,
right,
it's real. I'll tell you what. I'll give you another example. It was a lady.
Quick, because we gotta get there. We gotta get everybody else to make it quick.
Atlanta Housewives, Phoebe Parks. What is that? The lawyer.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
She was Phoebe Parks. She was a very known attorney in Atlanta. She went and got somebody from the hood because he loved her. He was a fitness guy. He loved her because she was loud. She took control. He loved that.
I seen her.
Apollo was the dude.
Yeah,
Phaedra Park.
She represented a lot of Phaedra, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it like it was like night and day. I'm like, what did she see in him? But anyway, go ahead.
Wait, let me get Derek in here.
I want to be the first to say what Ashley said. Not all black men, and as we just proved on the panel, there's a certain demographic of black men that would deal with any of that craziness.
Yep.
Definitely all black men.
Well, Derek, I believe 50 Cent used to date her. That's a rich, wealthy guy.
Wow. Yeah. Well, hey, but he's out. Hey, he's out. I mean, he's a rich thug. I mean, what do you mean?
Wait a minute. He used to date who?
The
lady that was just talking. They was dating.
Phoebe Parks. Feature?
No. Chelsea or Chandler. The video I just played.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right. So go ahead, Derek.
I'm so sorry. I put this. We got to tackle this comment like right now, quick, fast.
All right, go ahead.
Black men like career women, boss ladies, not stay-at-home, family-oriented women. I'm sorry, whoever you are. I don't know what black men you're around. That ain't. I don't like none of that on the screen. I like the opposite of all of that on the screen.
The opposite.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right,
let's see. Go ahead. If you got, go ahead.
All right, let's bring Volk in here. Is this a compliment?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a compliment.
All right,
for sure.
And anything else you want to add? I asked what percentage of you think black men actually are attracted to these women and why. People gave their whys. Anything else you want to say on this topic?
I'll say this. If we were to do like an Olympics of all the different, I don't really believe in race. We're all just a human race, but I'll say different ethnic groups. I'll say that I think that African American men, and I say that to distinguish between black men because you got Nigerians, you got all different kind of black men in that group. I would say African Americans, I would imagine, would rank the lowest as far as being traditionally masculine.
Tread lightly.
And that being the case, I think they are more okay with masculine women than other groups because they're primarily raised by very dominant women. The African American homes are almost 80% illegitimacy rate. So they're raised by women most of the time. And so they're a lot more open to women who are more masculine. Now, once you start getting into breaking that demographic down, you got a successful, guy who's been able to, work his way up the corporate ladder, and get exposed to different types of ways of running a home and has been more cultured, then he will, I think, will revert more to what you see in the Middle Eastern homes, Asian homes, Hispanic homes. Hispanic homes are very much male-dominated homes. Me being from a city that's predominantly Hispanic, a lot of the Hispanic women who date black men, one of the reasons why they'll say they date black men is because black men are a little bit less patriarchal than Hispanic men. You'll hear them say that kind of thing because in the Hispanic culture, they tend to cater towards the males. Like, I have a friend of mine, when his mom comes to visit, and the food's being made. If that wife's not on top of that, she's like, hey, what's going on over here? Why is she sitting down? The food's being made. Why is my son waiting to get her food? Where you see a lot of Black moms, African American moms, will be like, he can do that himself.
Yeah, he better get his tail up and get it himself.
Exactly right. Now, you won't see that in Middle Eastern culture. You won't see that in Asian culture. So I would say, to her point, I do believe African American males are more likely to tolerate that type of behavior, which is a little bit counterintuitive in some ways, or paradoxical, because in a lot of ways, African American males or Black men represent masculinity.
Yeah,
they're bigger. The muscle percentage is a little bit higher. They don't, they tend to be more athletic. And so they're more brawny, and so those things of that nature, denser bone structure, denser muscle structure, in some ways they represent masculinity. But in other ways, they don't, because of the fact that they're raised primarily by women. So they tend to, you see a lot of effeminate behavior between men, African American men specifically. And so I do agree with her that African American men, but I don't think it's a compliment. I think that's because of a lack of male representation in the African American community.
Man. Go ahead, Derek. You muted still.
Sorry about that.
Fine.
Exactly, Afan. I know a lot who will tolerate out of their race that type of attitude versus their own. And then she goes on to say they want to be the woman. Yeah, I don't know one brother like that. If I did, he wouldn't be around long. I'm just saying.
That's funny.
I know plenty of guys, African American men, have told me they like a little toxicity in a relationship, which I would consider to be a very feminine characteristic. Ladies tend to, because ladies are looking for a leader, they want to challenge and they want to have the little quibbles here and there to make sure that the guy I chose is the real leader. Can he best me in this verbal joust, in this intellectual joust? I'm going to give him a hard time and see if he can emotionally remain stable in this situation, because I think I chose a good guy who's not going to be led by his emotions, and I want to make sure. So ladies will do these things here and there in their relationships to challenge the man's ability to lead. That's normal with the feminine, but for the masculine, you're not expecting guys to desire that type of angst, even if it's platonic and meant to be, harmless. But I do know plenty of African American men. I haven't heard this from men outside of African American men. I'm sure it exists, but probably at a lower level, where African American men will say, I like a little toxicity in my relationship. I like a woman who gives me a little bit of a hard time, challenge me a little bit more. Wow. And I don't, and I've heard it pretty frequently. I got guys on my head right now as I'm thinking about it. It's a very common thing. I haven't heard it.
That's why
I haven't heard it from Nigerian men. I haven't heard that from Nigerian men. Not to say it doesn't exist. So I think again, it's not a compliment. It's just kind of a shameful thing about our African American subculture.
Vulcan, can you shed some light on this? Because this drives me crazy when I hear women say this. Oh, well, you're intimidated. Because no, I am not intimidated by you. Can you shed some light on a man doesn't have to like what you do? It doesn't mean we're insecure. It doesn't mean we're threatened by you. It just means we are a leader and we know what you're doing is stupid. Can you shed some light? Because every woman that makes some money, the moment she claims her independence and this is, they just can't handle me. They always look at it like we're the one insecure. And we're looking at them like, yeah, I don't even know you're in danger. You're in danger of being single and getting a cat.
Well, I think part of it, and I would kind of want to open up to everybody else before I went, but I'll go ahead and go first. And if anybody wants to step in, let me know. But I think we got this word insecurity all wrong. There's some things we should not be secure in because there's no security there. And sometimes you're in a market where your field of study or your jobs are unstable. There's a lack of security there, and you'd be right to sense the lack of security in that. So sometimes ladies say, you're just being insecure. Well, because what you're presenting to me is a unstable situation. But I think people get wrapped up in the wording and, we think, we got to be secure at all times. So if you're calling me insecure, then that means that you're saying I'm the problem. And really, I'm not being insecure. We deny our insecurity when the truth of the matter is, yes, that's an insecure situation. So I'm not secure in that. So I would say that's the first point. It's okay to look at something and be like, yeah, I'm not secure in that. So I'm not going to put my footing on that. Right. So, so now the question should be, is that something that I should be secure in? Now we're having a more intellectually robust conversation that can actually be productive. So I would say that's the first part. The second part is intimidation by a woman who's being successful. There probably are some. I hate to say this, I've seen men who are insecure with women who are taller than them. I've seen men who are insecure with women who make more money than them. I was shocked to find out, like, what does that have to do with you? But there are some men who really are doing that. My issue with a lot of ladies who are saying that is they're not even asking the right questions to determine what kind of man are you. Are you the man who's insecure because she makes more money or makes good money? Or are you the man who's like, okay, look, I'm aware of how some of the reasons why women typically leave men. So if you're a lady who's works with engineers or works with lawyers all day, and you see me, I'm a janitor, or I have a good job as a managing at McDonald's and stuff like that, are you going to be okay with seeing men who are making 3-4 times what I make as your advancement in your career? Are you still going to be able to submit to me and look at and admire me as a leader in the home when you got all that going on? Now, if I asked that question, he goes, you're being insecure. Then I realized she's not mature enough to have this conversation yet. But that is a legitimate reason that ladies do leave men. They hear the catchphrase all the time, we grew apart. When you ask them to unpackage that growing apart thing, you realize, well, I was going this way with my life and he was going this way. We know that women leave marriages 70-80% of the time, 90% of the time, depending upon how many degrees they have. And that's a reality. So to me, I'm going to more base it off how she able to have the conversation. We need to educate women to be able to help them determine what kind of man they're dealing with. If they're dealing with a man who's truly insecure because of deficiencies in himself, insecure because of what's being presented to him, or he's a man who's just seeing what's going on and saying, okay, let's get ahead of this thing. Let's be proactive rather than reactive. So that's how I would address that, Derek.
Gotcha. No, I agree. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, you do hear that narrative a lot, and that's a good point that you make. So, some notes or some thoughts I'm thinking what Vulcan just said. It's okay to be insecure about certain things, especially if you evaluate seeing some things that's unstable. It's not wise to still be secure in things that it's not going. You can predict how the outcome is not going to be in your favor. So that's good. I want people to really take note of that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, just to give one quick example, I remember I went through a season, and I'm a little ashamed to admit it, where I was leaving the key in the door. I'm getting home from work, leaving the key in the door, and that wasn't a very secure thing. So somebody would have took that an insecure way. They have a good reason to do so.
Yeah.
The place wasn't secure. It was only for like a couple of weeks, but I was leaving my key in the door when I would walk in the house. So that's a legitimate reason to be insecure.